In this video, I'm going to talk about measuring length. Here you can see the teak that's associated with it. So let's talk about the centimeter ruler first. Centimeter cm, about the width of your pinky. So our centimeter ruler, 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, each centimeter equals 10 millimeters. Each centimeter equals 10 millimeters. So what do you notice about the length of this pencil? Well, what I notice is it doesn't wind up going right there. It doesn't wind up lining up exactly with the numbers. So how can I relate this to rounding? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw, I guess we'll use green. I'm going to try and draw a line right there where the end of that pencil is. I notice it goes 1, and this one right here would be half. That's why it's a little bit bigger, and a little bit past that. So what does it measure to? It's about 2 centimeters, because it's like almost to the 2. It's more than halfway there. So I'm going to call it about 2 centimeters. All right, well, let's talk about the inch ruler. Inch ruler is a little bit harder. So let's break down an inch ruler. How many segments are in this inch ruler?
2.
Well, if you count,
1.
if you count, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 segments. 8 segments in this inch ruler. So how would you label each tick mark between 0 and 1? Well, I would label them as fractions. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, and 8/8. I'm going to leave it as 1 whole, though. So if there's 8 segments in an inch, how many segments would be in half of an inch? Well, half of 8 is 4. So instead of 4/8, let's erase that and let's make it 1/2. So is there more that they want me to talk about here? No. Okay. For me, I don't like leaving it as 2/8. I know that 2/8 is equivalent to 1/4, and 6/8 is equivalent to 3/4. If you don't believe me, go ahead and make a renaming bar to simplify those fractions. So let's say we're measuring to the half inch. Well, my longest line right here, what color did I use? I think I used black. My longest line here is where my half inch is. Either I can memorize that, or I can do the math and do 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8. Oh yeah, that's right. 4/8 equals to 1/2. So you can do that. So let's practice measuring to the nearest half inch. I'm not sure how this is showing up on the video, but on my projector, it's a little dark. So this blimp goes right there to that line, which happens to be between the 1 and the 2, so it's 1 1/2. Our train is right here between the 4 and the 5, so that makes it 4 1/2. So, kind of what I alluded to earlier when I was simplifying those fractions. We need to zoom in a little bit and call them quarters. So we know that this big long line right here is half, and I guess I should call this 1 1/2. But the next biggest line, not the smallest ones, not these right here, but this one right here, are our fourths. 1/4, 2/4, which is the same as 1/2, 3/4. 1 and 1/4, 1 and 1/2, 1 and 3/4. Okay. Again, if you need help with that, go ahead and use your renaming board to simplify those fractions. So let's practice measuring to the nearest 1/4 inch. So I'm there. So let's see. This is 2 1/2. This is going to be 2 3/4. So this one's going to be, see, this one's actually right here at, oops, that line didn't line up very well. Let's try that again. There we go. That was going to be 1 1/2. 1 1/2 is still measuring to the nearest 1/4 inch because 1 1/2 would be 2/4. So we're going to compare these two rulers. We've got our 1/2 inch ruler and we've got our 1/4 inch ruler. So what do I notice about, well, you can't read that. Let's just pull that right there. What do you notice about the two rulers? Well, they're the same, except for 2/4 is equivalent to 1/2. So when we compare the 1/4 and 1/2 inch rulers, this is the image that you should be seeing. This is what you should be looking at. That the 1/2 and the 2/4, they're the same. Okay. So a little bit, the 1/4 inch ruler or the inch side ruler is a little bit harder to do than the centimeter ruler, but it's not impossible. If you have any questions, write it up on your whisk and bring it to class.